Well, after designed and scaled with the measurements I want to give the pipe a smoke, I cut out what is the drawing to transfer it to the wood. So you go here with the drawing. So this one, which is the shot, is the most important one. Now we move on to removing the excess wood with the saw. This is roughing it out so as not to have to deal so much with the file or the stone. I'm going to move on to drilling the stove and chimney. Depending on the hardness of the wood, it will cost you. The stove is already made there. We are going to give it the external shape of the pipe that we want to take out. Let's go with the stone, which is an 880 grit sandpaper, and we keep roughing it out. What we used to do with the saw, well, now with this machine. It's taking some shape now. If it is now time to go and find the shape we wanted, the more wood you remove with the saw, the less you have to take away from him with this. When you arrive at the last minute, you find yourself comfortable with the pipe in hand, and once from there you can be bigger or smaller. Well now, since it's sandpaper, I can adapt more to me than not adapt to it. Well, that's fine. This would be what is called an egg pipe. Because of the shape, of course. Here you can now see the grain of the olive tree more clearly. It is thick, but you can remove the lumps and other things they have. This is to polish it a little more, or to make it a little finer before polishing it. Then you will also have to use some sandpaper. I control it better with the file. Well, now we are sanding it and polishing it well. To the touch that there are no lumps or bumps. Now we are going to adapt a nozzle that seems better to us. That is also very subjective. It doesn't fit well now, so you have to fine-tune it so that it's smooth, because if it remains hard, it is susceptible to breaking. However, they also tend to break if they fall. Who is a craftsman? Otherwise he would not be a craftsman. We must mechanize as little as possible. We have already found the diameter. Now it is simply a matter of adjusting it. That is better with sandpaper or a soft file, and adjust it so that it doesn't get lost but goes in smoothly. Well, we already have the nozzle diameter adjusted. It enters us smoothly. It doesn't fall what I told you, and it comes out well. Well, now that it is already sanded, and we are going to apply it with this machine. These two types of wax are for polishing. It's not for toasting. It's for polishing further. It will depend on how polished or well sanded it is. It will be better or worse, finer or less fine, of course. If you notice, here it already has some shine, and here it is more matte. Well, we move on to give him the other one. Well, this is the same but with finer grain, to leave it softer. They change color simply to differentiate the beta. The truth is that it does highlight it a little more. Now we move on to give you what is wax carnavou. In this case, being made of olive, the pipe would remain like this. Well, now it's time to apply this wax, and it will give it shine and polish. The more we give it, even with use, from time to time, it is good to give it its wax. Well, once I'm here, I'd consider it good. And we would leave this model already finished. To some pipes whose wood grain does not provide notable aesthetic qualities, Angelis applies a touch of color with anilines.
Well, now one has finished, and then I take it, and the process, it's that I mix the anilines, which are colors, and depending on how I am is how I paint them. Well, we'll pass this one dark aniline, which will be brown. Alcohol. I put alcohol on the aniline. I move it with the same brush and then apply it to the pipe. I'm spreading it out. So also, whatever the wood is like, because in some places it absorbs you more than in others. Because pipes should never be varnished with ship's varnish or of any varnish, because smoking them would be toxic.
Once the anilines have been applied, angels burn the surface of the pipe to give it an aged look.
And at the same time, the alcohol burns, which we have added the aniline to. And now from here, the process is also Juan's.
This is the one that has been given the aniline. Now we are going to give it the polish and waxes, for leave it already finished. It already has color then, if you want it to stay more uniform. Then another coat of aniline is given. This is all the same process you can also be giving it, because the more you give, the more shine, or you can take a rag and hit it there. We can move on to polishing some other one, and this one he is now keeping the rest of the ones that are finished. There are many great characters whose image with the pipe in his mouth has gone down in history. Pipe smoking has been and is an art and a ritual, and know how to give the pipe those good ones qualities that the smoker demands. It is the task in which Juan Andreu and Angeles Jimenez have committed handcrafted.